Hi kids, welcome to Terry on Tuesday, coming to you now from the super bright kitchen. This is the brightest room in the house due to the fact that I've got the entire wall of my kitchen is basically windows. So it's nice and bright, but it's also, because they're not double glazed windows, they're old fashioned single glazed windows, it's the coldest room in the house, hence the jaunty scarf. Anyway, I thought I'd try this on the kitchen table, see how we get on. Okay, so children's books. Have you got any? No. If you know me, you probably know I've illustrated loads of children's books and novels and other books, but generally children's books I do at the moment. Illustrated tons of them for my publisher Candy Jar, who have an imprint called Jelly Bean Books. And Jelly Bean is it's kind of what they used to call vanity press, which is a horrible term, but basically what it means is if you can't get your book published, or you find it hard to get your book published, the traditional way of having an agent and blah, 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 and having a publisher pick you up and everything, which is like getting a record deal. It's millions of people want to do it, not everyone can. You can do what they used to call vanity press, which is basically self-publishing. Now, the one way of self-publishing is to go straight to Amazon or wherever it is, or Lulu, and you send your book or you upload it and they do everything else, print on demand. But Candy Jar do an imprint called Jelly Bean Books, and that basically means you pay for the costs involved, including a print run of 100 books and your layout and your registration and illustrator, etc. You pick your illustrator and you work with Candy Jar just as you would with a normal publisher to get your book the best it can possibly be. But at the end of it, instead of the publisher swallowing all the costs and putting it out there as their risk, you get the 100 books and you sell them, do what you like with them, promote it your own way. But Candy Jar will still, obviously promote your book on their website as well. So it's a kind of halfway house, really, between, the vanity press where it's like, give us some money and off you go. It's more a case of, we'll work with you if you pay for the costs to put it all together. And basically, it's between that and the full-on publishing experience. Now, here are 3 of the books that I've illustrated, children's books. I'll go through them one by one. Fergus the Tortoise for Sebastian Morley. This was an absolute joy to do, and it's selling really well. And the good thing about the Jelly Bean method is that for authors is that you get to keep all the profits. I don't get any profits. I get paid initially for illustrating it, as any author would, and Candy Jar gets paid for doing the layout, registering it with an ISBN and a barcode, etc. But you get to set the price. You get to keep all the profits. So I've done the illustrations for this one, which, like I say, it's selling really well, and people are loving this. Sebastian's gone full on with the promotion on this. It's selling really well, and it's a website called fergusthetortoise.com, actually. Excuse me. So generally the children's books that Candy Jar do a lot of are the 20 by 20 square, and they've got 20 pages as well. No, it's 21 by 21, sorry. It's the top half of an A4 sheet. So that's Fergus the Tortoise. This is Cone Army by Julia Taylor. It's got a subtitle there, Motorway Mashup, which is another great fun book to do. Inspired, obviously, by Julia's long journeys on the road. And they obviously thought of names for cones and stuff. And you've got Colonel Cone and you've got all these other guys. And they have this problem with a crashed lorry, etc. This was great fun to do. And like I say, it's doing really well as far as I can tell. And, these are kind of things, much fun. Here's another one, The Man on the Moon by Laura Elizabeth. This was also tons of fun to do. It was a very simple sort of design, but it's about a guy who gets lost on the moon and tries all these different things, and he needs to get back. So it's like The Martian with Matt Damon, only better. So I illustrated all 3 of these, and as you probably notice, the styles are completely different. You've got them, then you've got them, and you've got It's more sort of watercolory painting version for Fergus. This is because I don't have one set style. I think I instinctively do something differently for what I think will fit the book. And obviously I show the author what I've got in mind, and they generally like it or dislike it, but generally they go for it. This style is becoming quite popular. People are liking the very loose, not super neat, pristine, but nice sort of watercolory, painty style, which I love doing. It's great. So why am I telling you about children's books? Well, obviously a lot of people say to me, and have said to me over the years, that they'd love to do a children's book of their own, something like this. They've had an idea and they don't know where to start. And the first thing I do is go and drop Candy Jar a line. You know, when you drop Candy Jar a line, they will read your wordage and obviously help you with it. If it's meant to rhyme, they'll do that. If it's not meant to rhyme, like the Cone Army, it's just a standard story, they'll proofread it and typeset it and everything else. And they'll help you over it all along, and they'll show you a list of illustrators, not just me. They have many illustrators, and they'll show you like a portfolio of their work and say, well, which one would you like your book to be drawn in which style? So I get a lot of work because I do many different styles, and that's good, because obviously my work is what keeps the lights on in here, but not today. Jelly Bean. Some people are a bit cynical, going, oh, well, it's not proper publishing, is it? I'm just paying for everything. It's like, well, yeah, you are, but you're also getting 100% of the profits, and you can charge what you like. Now, all of these are priced up at the recommended retailer's price of $7.99, but you can charge whatever you like, cheaper or more, but you get to keep 100% of the profits. And also, you get a lot of feedback from the publisher. They're not just there to take your money, they're there to actually help you shape a book and come up with colour schemes and come up with all the fixing the text and everything else. If you've got a problem with, I'm not sure about this page, the verse doesn't seem to flow properly, they will help you sort it all out. Now, I am going to put my money where my mouth is, and I'm going to do my first children's book. This kind of shape and size, 20 pages, via Jelly Bean. Now, obviously, I'm going to save a bit of money on the illustrations because I'm illustrating it. I'm not going to pay someone else to illustrate it, though that is an option for me. Might get done quicker, because I'm always snowed under with stuff. But I want to do a book of my own. I've been talking about this for a long time, actually. I'm not going to do the idea that I've been percolating in my head for many years, because the idea I've got in my head is a kind of Disney star sort of fairy tale, and I think it's going to take so much work. It'd take me like a month a page, and I just don't have the time to do that. So I'm going to do something a little bit quicker and easier, and hopefully more fun, because if it's not fun, it's not worth doing. You'll just go mad, basically. So I'm going to do a Jelly Bean book. Now, obviously, I'm going to pay for a print run of 100 copies of my book. And what some of them do, I know it's not in this one, but it's in these two. When you're actually in the process of getting your book made with Jelly Bean Candy Jar, you can tell people that you're making your book and ask them to pre-order it. So basically, it's like saying you're going to get your book in advance if you send me the price of the book. And as a bonus, you get your name or dedication in the back of the book. So someone's got a list of names and children's names and friends or whatever who have paid in advance for a pre-order. And that money you get from the pre-order helps pay for the print run. See how that works? What have we got in the back here? There's another version. So you've got like 50 odd names there, and there's some special thanks down there. So you can put what you like on the back. But basically, I don't know if there's 57 names on this one. So maybe Laura went to 57 people and said, who wants to pre-order a copy of my book? And 57 people said, I will, here's a tenner, here's $7.99 or whatever, and can you put my kid's name in the back? So in the first print run, 100 books, you got someone's name in the back. So your name makes it into the book. It doesn't cost the person any extra, apart from the price of the book. But it's actually paid for your print run. Print runs cost X amount. It depends on quality, page count, this kind of thing. But I'm thinking these are around, I think for 100 books, it works out about £3 a book. So it's about 300 quid for a print run of 100 books. But once you've shelled out that and you've paid for the publishing side of it to get it registered, artist, layout, etc., etc., any profit then after that is yours. So if you can get people to pre-order your book, you are basically, you're getting the books for free because they've been paid for by your friends and family, etc. And when you get the books in the post in a box, you sell them anywhere you like for any price you like, and you get to keep 100% of the profits. So that's what I'm going to do. Now, what am I going to write about? Well, I have a million, billion, zillion ideas, and we'll talk ideas in a minute. Let's take a break. I need to get a drink, and I'll show you what came in the post. So over to this guy today. First thing that came in, a pair of snips. Basically, you get a pair like this with your 3D printer, and they're brilliant because they're super sharp and they cut anything. But I basically overdid it and snapped the point of one of them last week. They are super sharp, but apparently not super tough. But yeah, so I just picked up a pair from Amazon, and they were under a £5. But I found I've started using these for everything now, especially when I'm making model bits and whatever, because they are precision cutters and they're really good. And I'll be using them on Marvin's feet. In fact, here's one of Marvin's feet. This is the second one, so you can see I've got some filling of gaps to do. And when I print them out with crossbars to keep the shape. And in fact, that's how I snapped the other one of these. I was trying to snip it off, sort of snip, 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 and I basically bit off more than I can chew, and I squeezed it as hard as I could, and it snapped it off. So that's what you get for being super strong. Anyway, this is called Technique Premium Glazing Filler. This is a slightly cheaper version of another product I was going to get called Dolphin Glaze. But basically it's like P38 in that you've got your main sloshy consistency slimy stuff, which is in the pot, and it comes with a little sachet of hardener, and in this case it comes with a tube with nothing on it except millions of words. Maybe there's like the Rosetta Stone on there, or a Bible or something, but this is the hardener for this stuff. And it's more liquidy, as you can see. It's not something you scrape out like a polyfiller. So this is the squishy stuff, and this is self-leveling hardener. What does it say here? Whatever you use of this, you need a 2% of that, so it's almost nothing. And you've got just under 20 minutes drying time. So basically, it's sandable, but it comes on really thick. Imagine a really thick kind of margarine. The margarine of evil. Yeah, thick kind of goopy varnish that goes onto these things, and hopefully it will smooth things out a little bit. As I say, the Marvin suit in general is going to have print lines all over it, so unless I use £1 million worth of this and this, I'm never going to get it 100%. So I'll try this. This is a 500ml, it's half a litre of it. I was thinking this would be smaller when it came in the post. Like my lens flares, very Battlestar Galactica, isn't it? I thought one of these would cover one of these. It turns out I'll probably get both of them done, which is good, because then I can order another one of these for the upper arms that I'm in the middle of making two. New tablet arrived. It is an Amazon brand, Amazon Fire, 16 gig, 8-inch screen. Managed to get a decent price on this on eBay. This is the last one left. I'm told it's a red one. Let's open it up. I don't know much about tablets. Someone said, oh, it's just like a big phone. except it doesn't make phone calls. Okay. Alrighty, so we've got the nice adapter pluggy thing, which is good. Nothing else in there. What's all this? Oh, it's not a red one, it's a black one. And very nice it is too. Yeah, charging port, general things. What we got here? Paperwork. Let's have a quick look. Go hands-free with Alexa. I don't know about Alexa. You know, I'm one of these hypocrites. You know, I talk about embracing technology, and then I say, "Do you want Alexa?" No, I don't want Alexa. Free trial of Kindle, Amazon Music, Audible. No thanks. Fire HD8, quick start charging, blah blah blah, and general instructions. Yeah, all very well. It's all business card sized, and it's all like the writing is smaller than small things. Okay, what have we got here? A decorative bit of cardboard and a USB cable. Cool. So yeah, it doesn't come with a lot. It's just that, the essentials and some paperwork, and obviously it needs charging, etc. The reason I bought a tablet finally is to use in other areas of the house via Bluetooth or Wi-Fi in fact, but mainly for my cross trainer when I want to do the exercising stuff. I want to have a screen in front of me, so as I'm doing the cross trainer I can watch something, because I don't really want to drag the cross trainer upstairs into my tiny room with my computer. So I thought this kind of thing would work nicely if I can find a way. Oh, hello, you see my phone. If I can find a way of, I mean it is doable, but I'm just not great at these things, streaming video from my computer via Wi-Fi to the screen, rather than loading all, you know, TV and video and films onto here, which I could do if all else fails. I'd rather just stream it, you know, and be able to access it from downstairs. And then also, although these, I don't like having things without a case, like my phone's got a case, etc. I was looking at cases and they're all very similar to like the book things that you fold open, but I wanted something different, so I got this kids case. It's made of EVA foam, so it's a spongy. Weirdly enough, the black one was a couple more quid expensive than the purple one, but you can see you put your thing in it, it stands up like that, so you can watch stuff like that, and it's like kids carry it like this. But it's quite a nice little thing actually. It's got a plastic insert in there. I assume you take this plastic insert out before putting the pad in, or maybe you don't. But basically it pops in there like that. Yeah, I've got a feeling you do take the plastic insert out. I'll have to look into this. But anyway, you pop it in, and then you've got a kind of, you know, I got something I can manhandle it with rather than getting my mucky paws all over the lovely screen. So, and then like I say, you stand it up and you can watch things while it's standing up somewhere. What I'll probably do is I could even put a nail in the wall now, or a screw in the wall, just there. And then I've got the tablet on the wall, popping in and out whenever I feel like it, just to watch the video and stuff when I'm doing the workout. So that's nice, isn't it? That is everything. I've talked far too long. I'll have to edit some of this down. Okay, back to the other guy. Wasn't that nice? Anyway, we were talking about ideas, weren't we? I have a million ideas, and I am going to do something pretty much from scratch because all the ideas I've got in my head are pretty involved at the moment. So I'm going to keep it simple, keep it fun. So I was thinking about different ideas, and I've always liked the idea of a first-person perspective kind of thing. And I love in the films where the actor talks to the camera, which they call breaking the fourth wall. If you imagine the first wall is behind me, that's the second wall, that's the third wall. And when someone turns the camera, what do you think? That's breaking the fourth wall, like Deadpool does, right?
Oh, hello.
I think a fairy tale thing would be a little bit probably too similar to what my other idea is, which if I ever get it done, I might not, but who knows. So anyway, I've boiled it down to a couple of ideas, and I started thinking about something like along the lines of Shrek, you know, where you've got Shrek's an ogre, And the comedy comes in, obviously, he's an ogre that acts like a normal human being, just wants a peace and quiet, and he's thrown into this adventure with Donkey, etc. And the comedy comes from him just going, "Oh, I don't want to be an ogre, Donkey," you know. So it's not going to be about an ogre, but it's like a kind of almost a double act. And I was thinking of a boy and his monster. And then the more I thought about it, the more I discussed it with Sean at Candy Jar, we started going away from a boy and his monster to a boy and his thoughts about a monster. So there may be a monster there may not be a monster there. So it's turned into, ladies and gentlemen, a story called Monsters Next Door. So it's about a kid, and they are convinced that there are monsters next door. Now, I haven't decided yet whether there are monsters next door and the kid's just making all this up in their imagination. That didn't make sense. Whether there are not monsters next door and the kid's making it up in their mind, or there are monsters next door and no one believes the kid except himself. Anyway, that idea developed, and the more I started thinking about it, I think it would be a little bit of a tuck-up, a bit of a kind of anticlimax to get to read the book to your kid and get to the back and go, there were no monsters after all, you know. It might be a nice harsh lesson on reality. Stop dreaming, there are no monsters, no such thing. Which is fine if you don't want your kids to have nightmares. But I quite like the idea of, you know, the fantasy land and there are monsters next door. So I think there will be monsters next door. And like a lot of fairy tales, the parents don't believe it anyway. Because as grown-ups, we tend to sort of forget about the fantastical and stick on the practical side of things. So to go one further, I did think, should I do a version of the book where the lead character is a boy, like Man on the Moon, or should I do a version where the lead character is a girl, or should I do both? But then I'd have to pay for 2 print runs because you'd have to change the artwork with a boy and a girl. And I know this sounds very woke and very sort of modern, but what if I had a character that was kind of non-gender specific? Unisex, as we used to say back in the 70s and 80s. So, you know, I'm not getting into the whole non-binary way of describing people. I'm just saying, what if we had a character that was kind of androgynous? So I did some sketching, I did some scribbling, and I asked everybody online, you must have seen on Facebook and stuff, I've asked all my friends, what name can apply to a male and a female? And you've got the standards. You've got Billy, Jay, Jamie, Kelly. There were loads. You can probably think of some off the top of your head. And the 2 that I kept coming back to were Jay and Sam. So I've decided to go with the name of Sam for the protagonist. And Sam could be male or female. So I'm going to draw the character in a way that they can have, you know, bush of hair, not necessarily in male clothing, but not necessarily in female clothing. Just kind of, you know, everyone wears jeans and a t-shirt kind of thing. So I did a sketch for that and worked it out, and that seemed quite good. And I will be showing you pictures, don't worry, it's not all talk. So I thought I'll get round to writing it. And now there's 2 schools of thought. There's obviously make them rhyme and and write it in prose. So poetry or prose. Now the problem we come across a lot is a lot of people want to do poetry. They want to do a Dr. Seuss. They want to do, you know, a rhyming kind of thing. And it's all great for the first 3 verses and then it all goes downhill. In some cases, it's great for the first 2 lines and then they run out of ideas for rhymes and things get quite bad. Thankfully, I used to be a rapper, remember? So I'm pretty good at rhymes. So I thought I'd go for the rhyming style. And another reason I went for the rhyming style is the drawing style. As you know, I've done many different styles and stuff, but I wanted to do something that was reminiscent he says, not plagiaristic, but reminiscent of Tim Burton, Nightmare Before Christmas. So because it's got monsters in it, you know, so you've got a kid who's quite scared, and you'll have, you know, a lot of dark scenes. And I thought, oh, this is a bit Nightmare Before Christmas. So the Tim Burton style, Tim Burton used to be an animator at Disney. I think the first film he worked on was Fox and the Hound when he was a teenager or whatever. And his drawing style is generally big heads, skinny bodies. You think of Jack Skellington or Corpse Bride, that kind of thing. They all got the big heads and the tiny skinny arms and legs and stuff. So I'm going to try and do something a bit like that. I'm not going to rip it off 100%. I could take his drawings and copy them exactly and put my own spin on them, but I'm just going to draw in a similar kind of thing. So it's big heads, big eyes, little nose, little mouth, little skinny arms and legs. I quite like to do something like that. Oh, I can do Jack Kirby hands, look. I was going to go with a pseudonym originally, just for the sake of it, to see what happens if I put a book out sort of anonymously, but I do want to tell people about this book. This is a really long video. I will try and edit it down. So yeah, so I'm going to do that. So that's going to be my book. It's called Monsters Next Door. It's just dawned on me, I haven't Googled that title. I bet there's a million books with that title. I will do this later on. So next week's video is where I might go, I've changed the title. But so far it's called Monsters Next Door. I'm going to show you a bit about the story next week. I'm not going to go through the entire thing. And I will show you some drawing next week, hopefully. Start planning out pages and sketching out pages and colouring pages. And hopefully it will give you some idea and some inspiration to do your own children's book if you've been thinking about it. Or generally your own book anyway. Links are in the description below to Candy Jar and Jelly Bean Books, who are my friends and essentially my employers as well, who I will be working with and I have been working with for many years. And if you're interested in getting your own book out, you know, in this method, Jelly Bean, where you pay for the setup and the artwork, etc., and then you get to keep the profits, or you want to submit a book in a traditional sense and hope it, you know, obviously passes the quality control and everything else and gets picked up as a proper book. But as I said, it's very hard to get a publisher to take on your book, especially at the moment, current terrible situation as it is. Anyway, that's it for me this week. I know it's completely different from what I'm normally going about, and there's not many prop builds, but Marvin is going along really slowly. Other stuff is will be apparent in future videos, but I thought I would do a complete change of tack and spend a couple of weeks talking about this children's book idea. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I'm just trying to document what I'm up to in life at the moment. Yeah, so that's it from me this week. I know it's super bleached out and bright and it's been a long video, but if you've stayed with me, excellent, thank you very much. Do the usual, like and subscribe, leave comments if you will, that would be great. And I will see you next week for more children's book stuff, mail and random ramblings as I'm wont to do. So take care now, bye bye then.